Hi, it's Molly and welcome back to my channel. So I did not plan on doing this video right now. I had been wanting to do a Pat McGrath dupes video for a little while. As you can see, I'm like ready to go to the gym, so I'm wearing my gym stuff, but I was out running errands. I was at Sephora. They put out the new Pat McGrath palettes. Like a crazy person, I swatched the whole thing in store. I had to, and I will say this. Pat McGrath palettes, Pat McGrath makeup is so beautifully made. I purchased a few of the highlighting kits when they came out. They're gorgeous, the quality's incredible. The woman definitely knows what she's doing when it comes to how the product performs, which, I mean, anyone can look at swatches and go like, yeah, like looks pretty good, but her stuff really holds up. It looks beautiful, it blends beautifully, etc., etc., etc. The palette itself is $125, which I know I was like, huh? But it has 10 shades, so that breaks down to $12.50 a shade. So all in all, that's honestly a pretty reasonable price per shade. If you were gonna go to the store and buy 10 eyeshadows for $12.50 each, you'd be at $125. It's just a little bit of sticker shock, I guess, when it's all in one palette. So the reason I did not pick up the Pat McGrath palette is only because I'm a makeup junkie and I knew that within all the palettes that I have stashed at home, I had to have some dupes. I did end up reading this amazing post online that had dupes if you don't have a lot of the shades already, and I will definitely link that below. From her post, I did pick up 2 shades, one of which was like the ultimate color that I was wanting from this Pat McGrath palette. So you can see where the line is in the middle. To start out with this light beige shimmer, I used this is my Visart Paris palette in the Paris Nudes. It's an excellent palette, and I used from the top row, I used the shade all the way on the far right. And then next up for this True Black, I used another Visart palette. This is the Visart 01 Neutral Mattes. And I used this gorgeous black shade. It's one of the only black shades where I get very little fallout with it. I absolutely love it. And now next up, this was a deep dark espresso brown. What I ended up grabbing was the Lorac Pocket Pro palette. These are the tiny little 3-pan palettes, and this was shade Espresso, which is also in the First Pro palette. Next up, for this really beautiful purple shimmery shade, I went back to the Visart Paris palette, and I used on the bottom left-hand side, I used this beautiful purple shade. This Cool Tone Taupe. Guess what? Back to another Visart palette. I think they're so versatile. I really and truly, I know that they're pricey, but I use them for everything. I used the bottom right-hand shade, this beautiful, cool, brownish taupe. This is probably one of my favorite shades in the Pat McGrath palette. It's this incredible, like, taupe brown with shimmer. And I have these, this is a discontinued palette. It's the Lorac Pro Star. But again, I'm just saying, like, maybe some of you also have these at home. If not, I'll list dupes if you want to buy a shade. But I used this bottom one and it's incredible. Next up for the gold, I'm grabbing, this is the Lorac Pro Metal. This came out last year and it was a limited edition, and I used the shade Gilded. And then for the blue, I actually used one swipe of this Cobalt from the same palette, but it was a little bit too dark. So then I went into my Lorac Pro Mega 2 palette, which was, I want to say 2 years ago. It was their Christmas palette. And obviously it is like, you know, I caramba a ton of shades. So from this one, I picked up Blue Quartz, and that actually ended up being a much brighter blue and a better match. The last two shades, this gorgeous, I want to say Pat McGrath calls this haze, and then this is like the, you know, almost white iridescent. I don't know, it's so pretty. Well, okay, I almost bought the Pat McGrath specifically for this shade. I am so obsessed with it. I didn't have anything like it. I'd never seen anything like it. I knew that I needed it. So from this blog post that I'm gonna share with you, this gal recommended from Topshop. It's called Wax and Wane. I wanna say it's basically just a perfect dupe. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. It's unreal. I have been using this shade almost every day, like even just to go to the gym, I put it on my eyes because I'm obsessed with it. I don't have anything like it. I want to say it was $10 maybe 13. Oh my gosh, can you just see how pretty that is? Oh, it's so pretty. And when you put it on your eyes without really any other color there, it just has this gorgeous glow, and that's how I've been wearing it. I cannot believe how close it is to the Pat McGrath. Okay, so the next one I picked up, this is the white, very ethereal shade. The Pat McGrath has more, I will say, turquoise tones. This Topshop one has slightly more of a pink reflection. And honestly, it's really pretty too. It is a little bit lighter on the eyes, so for me, it's more of an inner corner highlight, because when I tried to wear it all over, I just sort of had that like early 2000s. Remember when white eyeshadow, like super big white eyeshadow was a thing? I don't know, that's what it reminded me of. So this is a really pretty inner eye highlight shade. Going through all of these actually made me feel better. Like I really do have all of these shades at home. I did have to pick up those two Topshop shades, so that was the total of I think $20. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. Let me know if you have ever tried any Pat McGrath products and what you thought. I want to hear if you think that they were worth the money or not. I definitely love my highlighting kits. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Ta-da! Whatever. But then the makeup junkie in me was like,